Good morrow, my famalam. Anyways, I woke up this morning, feeling a bit, happy, I guess. So, let's see if I can ruin that happiness this morning with the 10 weirdest phobias. Fuck, I need my headset. Because my other headphones, I still can't find them. I can't find my headphones. This is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. As you can see, I dyed my hair purple again. Because I am purple. So let's get into this, bro.
Oxford Dictionary says a phobia is an extreme or irrational fear
Oh,
or
bro,
aversion
what the
to
fuck?
something. Most people have something that they're afraid of, and some people have ones that are more bizarre than others. The most amazing.
It's so... I know some people say spiders are cute and that, but bro, imagine zooming into that bitch and seeing like all the hair, his arms and his eyes, bro. It's so cute, but it's kind of creepy.
I know. I'm your host, Abby, and today we are going into the top 10 weirdest phobias to ever exist. Going into this, I feel like this
I don't have an ad.
I would recommend Calmigo if you have anxiety because it is very effective and I love using it. I was waiting.
video was given to me so people could watch me struggle through pronouncing the complicated names of phobias, so stick around for some bloopers. And a disclaimer going into this, while we are here to make light of the absurdity of these fears, that doesn't take away from the fact that there are people who experience these phobias, and that's valid. According to Melissa McNaughton, PhD, a pediatric clinical psychologist, when left untreated, phobias can lead to the development of other problems such as panic disorder, separation anxiety disorder, depression,
like
and
people
other
who are scared
problems.
of holes.
So,
I understand
if
a
fear of yours
trypophobia
is a phobia, don't
but
be afraid
like,
to get some help. But let's get into the list, shall we? All right, into number 10.
I don't have it, but it makes me uncomfortable when you see it, right?
Lunophobia. It's a fear of the moon. So, seleno is the Greek word for moon, and this is also known as lunophobia from the Latin word for moon, luna. It can also be a fear of the darkness on a moonless night. So, the mythological reasons that someone might develop this fear includes that people may commit more crimes during a full moon, as the myth goes, or maybe the moon is inhabited by evil creatures. Or, as we all know, the myth that the moon can transform people into werewolves. That's very common. Basically, people with selenophobia get a range of symptoms from muscle tensions, chills, breathlessness, dizziness, sweating, feeling trapped, and the inability to articulate words or sentences, similar to what's happening to me in this video. From the symptoms alone, it sounds like this causes quite a bit of anxiety, and to combat this, most of the people with these extreme fears just shutter their windows and avoid going out at night. Also, a common solution is exposure therapy, just, getting a little bit of moon at the time, just a tiny bit. Maybe looking at pictures online, getting the vibe. It's nice. Moving on to number 9, linonophobia. This is the fear of string. Obviously, beginning of this phobia is the Greek word for string, lino, and while it sounds humorous at first to be afraid of, strings, laces on shoes, this one actually causes pretty serious symptoms, including shortness of breath, tremors, nausea, fainting, loss of control, sweating, an increased heart rate, and an urge to flee. Basically, people who develop a fear of string may have it because they may have been tied up in the past, or maybe they've seen movies and TV shows enough of people being restrained and tied up, and then they come to see being tied up as being forced to do something in a very negative way. So the therapy for it includes educating people about their fears and, helping them through string and laces. Just so you know.
Some domination.
I'm wearing boots, so I don't have to look at laces, so we're fine. Moving on to number 8, allophobia, fear of flutes. So this person better watch out for Lizzo's flute solos, is all I can say. Allophobia can be a fear of looking at a flute, the sound of a flute, or even the clicking of the flute's buttons when it's played. Basically, symptoms include feeling panic, terror, dread.
Harry from the Simons, he has a fear of buttons.
Rapid heartbeat, shortness of breath, trembling, and anxiety. Sometimes perfectionism may get into the way of playing a flute. In one case, a girl edged into allophobia after a comment was made that you have to be very careful because flutes are just so fragile. But good news is she was helped by her flute teacher to get over her fear.
I'm sorry,
and now
bro. It's early in the morning. My brain hasn't started
yet. You'll make music.
Moving
Moving on to number 7. This is a fun one. Arachibutyrophobia. Yeah, try saying that 5 times fast. So this phobia is the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. Yeah, as in when it gets stuck up there and you are left trying.
Speaking of stuff stuck on the roof of your mouth, you guys remember when you were a kid or when you're going to school and you used to be packed with those bologna and cheese and mayo sandwich in like the thin bread, like Wonder Bread. And as soon as you bite into it, bro, that shit sticks like at the top of your mouth, and you're just like all day.
Trying to get it off there
times.
and making the weird faces of like that's a fear. It's a valid fear, honestly. Like with other phobias, the symptoms of this one that I will not try to pronounce again involve panic, dread, terror, anxiety, rapid heartbeat,
terror,
and
or something being
when
stuck to the
peanut
top
butter
of your
is
mouth.
Wedged on the roof of your mouth, obviously,
mean-
it is annoying. But for these people, it's just another level. Alternatively, give peanut butter to a dog and live vicariously through them to feel joy. They just love it. Dogs. Yeah. Moving on to number
We don't
6,
deserve dogs.
genophobia, fear of knees. Yeah. So if I say something is the bee's knees, does that
I'm
make
sorry,
you
bro.
scream?
I'm sorry, bro.
Maybe
I'm
the
not trying
idea
to
of
laugh
knees
at
makes
these people's
you
fears, but fear of
uncomfortable.
knees.
But for these people, just again, next level. People
Okay,
with
I would be
genophobia
scared of
have
them
either
knees.
a fear of their own knees, someone else's knees, or the act of kneeling. And while yes, sometimes knees look weird or even like a face, this is an oddly specific phobia. It would make you want
Right?
to play a bunch of group sports like soccer or rugby or ultimate frisbee. You know, even living in warmer weather would be tough because you'd be like, no, not my knees, not yours.
So
knees.
wait,
Nope, not going outside. People with this phobia have been known to reduce their fear with cognitive behavioral therapy and hypnotherapy. You know, just knees. That's just that. On to number 5, Venustrophobia, a fear of beautiful women. If you have this one, I don't know
I
how
got
you're
no
watching
fear,
this
no
video.
beautiful women, bro.
No, just kidding. Venustrophobia is when seeing a beautiful woman or speaking to one can cause a full-on
my
panic
brain
attack.
hasn't
The name
started
comes
yet,
from
man.
Venus, which is the Greek goddess that represents women. Now, people may develop this phobia if they associate a
love
beautiful
curly hair,
woman
bro.
or women with a
Close to
negative
my heart.
experience. A girl rejects someone, it leads to fear of another rejection.
Okay,
and
this
that
one I can
anxiety
understand, I can
compounds,
understand.
and that person, and boom, all beautiful women are now scary. They just think about that one scary
As you just
situation.
said.
The physical symptoms are trembling, shortness of breath, sweaty hands, nausea, headaches, and in some cases, gasping for breath,
pretty faces,
choking,
bro.
crying, and screaming. Plus, emotionally, a person may have a loss of reality, feeling like running away, embarrassment,
Okay,
or
then,
feeling
that's
like they're in
creepy,
a
bro.
pass out.
That was
Moving
creepy.
on to number 4, euphobia, which is the fear of good news. So this comes from the spelling EU or U, which means good. And it's the same stem as in euphoria. And you're probably thinking, who fears good news? It's good, right? So the reason
I mean,
someone may
like,
develop
if you get
euphobia
good news
is if
and,
they
like-
get really, really disappointed by good news that didn't actually happen.
Okay, yeah,
An
that's
example
what-
is
that's what I was
someone who
gonna
has
say,
the
but, like-
winning lottery numbers, but it's for the wrong date. Then they are people that want the truth and equate the truth with chaos. Like something being good may become something that is too good to be true.
Nigga,
These
you
people just
overthinking
thrive
things
in a
too much
chaotic
if you-
environment. So the common treatments for euphoria is just behavioral psychotherapy, where they are then conditioned to feel happy when they hear good news because it's good. I know life is
good.
chaos, but like it's fine. We'll just
It's good. It's good.
Number 3, we have platophobia, fear of bald people. It is also related to the fear of becoming bald, phylacrophobia. The pelota in pelatophobia is the Spanish word for bald people and or baldness. And also, I think this phobia exists just because bald people, they're just too powerful, you know? You know how you can feel the wind on your
That
body
man
but
just
not
looks
your head
terrifying.
because
I
your
don't
hair?
know why. He
They
just
feel the
looks
wind.
like-
I don't know where I'm going with this, but they're powerful.
He's a
Okay? In
mastermind.
reality, these people who suffer from high amounts of anxiety when they see bald people,
Why did they show
exist.
Donald
And
Trump, bro?
Because they are wanting to avoid the symptoms that are triggered when they see a bald person, they end up taking steps to avoid it. And one step that they take might be refusing to associate with bald people. So if you know someone
This
like
nigga
this,
creepy.
maybe
That
don't
was
shave your
creepy.
head. Unless you get an argument and want about a month of space, do it. I say, but then actually stay away from them because you don't want to trigger their fear.
I don't wanna
Moving
go
on to number
bald
2,
ever.
papophobia. And no, this is not a fear of your papa.
I mean,
This-
like, if I get paid like 100 bags, I would go bald.
This is
But right
the fear
now,
of the Pope.
down.
Papa means Pope in Latin, and this phobia is also related to hierophobia, which is the fear of
100
holy
facts.
people or sacred things, plus other holy related phobias.
In 2
so
years,
the symptoms for this one typically include
In another 2
extreme
years,
anxiety, dread, and anything
What
associated
the
with
fuck?
panic, such as shortness of breath.
That nigga
rapid
creepy, bro. You see
breathing,
that nigga in the
irregular
night, you'll be
heartbeat,
thinking he's a-
excessive sweating, nausea,
I've never
dry
seen
mouth,
the movie
more
Leprechaun.
nausea, inability to articulate words or sentences, like me, dry mouth, and shaking. Now, there aren't recorded measures to help this phobia, but I imagine the people most likely don't go to Catholic Church if they don't like the Pope to that
Big up
degree.
the Caths.
Plus, if the Pope is bald, then
I am
platophobic people with papophobia are just getting a double whammy at that point, you know. Let's move on to number 1. My favorite, the weirdest of the weird,
So
antidaphobia. Fear a duck is watching you. Yeah, the word antidaephobia comes from the Greek word antidae, which means duck, geese,
Fear
or
of
other
duck?
waterfowls.
That's
and
watching
phobos
you.
is obviously Greek for
Those
dread and
niggas
fear.
are creepy
So
though. Those niggas
this could
attack
also relate to the fear
in
of
fucking
geese.
squads. They're
And after
attacking
that
gang.
one Goose game that came out, I wouldn't be surprised if quite a few
pull up
people
with
found
gang.
geese threatening, honestly. And also, a side note, Canadian geese are terrifying. Anyways,
They are
the
actually
fear of
really
ducks
terrifying, bro. I've
phobia
seen them
can be
before.
just really bad, like debilitating. The anxiety condition
But
can get
I'm
to
not
the point
scared
where
of them,
no
bro.
matter
I will
what
kill
someone's
a
doing
duck.
or where they may be in
I'll
the
kill a
world, they
bitch.
just feel it.
I will
They feel a
cut a
duck
bitch.
or goose is nearby, just there. Person with this phobia could feel that somewhere in the world, a duck or goose is just watching them, not attacking them
Why are you
or
scared
touching
of
them,
that?
just out there,
Why are you-
watching them.
I'm not trying to laugh at
Tabs.
somebody's
This fear
phobia,
could have been
but
spurred
like,
by a traumatizing event or incident with ducks or geese, but my mom says don't worry. Ducks are never watching you, they're always walking away. So that's pro tips from Abby's mom. I would also say Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb may have the fear of Perry the
Platypus.
Platypus watching him, but at the same time, they kind of have a weird frenemy relationship, so I can't say for sure. I'm not a doctor. But that ends our list right there, and what do you think? Weird phobias, right? As always, sources are below. Phobia Wikio was a great source for this one, and there's so many there, so if you like this video,
thank you, Ashley. Her name was Ashley, right? Now I remember. Thank you. You made this a good experience. Even though you could have pronounced the word. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyways, it's been your boy, konji, with another video. I know it's been a while since I posted a video, but I'm gonna try. I've been going through some stuff right